Hello and welcome to the Higher View Podcast, the podcast dedicated to the creative, the outside thinker, and the believer. I am Jonathan, your host, and I am here with my beautiful partner in life.
And better half.
And co-host, Alexus.
Hello.
Hello. This podcast is dedicated to the creative, the outside thinker, and the believer who are seeking community, healthy views on worldly topics, and from a higher view, so to speak.
There you go.
So if this is your first time to the show, we just want to welcome you. Thank you for tuning in. We're so glad to have you. This is second to last episode that we're recording of season 1.
Yes.
So if this is your first time, you are coming in a little late.
Yeah.
But we welcome you anyways, and we just thank you for tuning in. We also just want to invite you to like, subscribe, share this content. If you like this content, share it with somebody, and just thank you in advance because that boosts us to the top. So we thank you for that.
Yes.
But how you doing today?
Doing great.
Doing great?
Yeah.
Have had a pretty good day?
Yeah, I've had a pretty good day, pretty productive.
That's really good. I know things have been changing for you. Been getting some structure in your schedule.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
Yes. As we all know, if you've been listening, I've been wanting lots of structure, and it's just about applying it now. You want it, you got to apply it. So nothing's going to change unless you do it. And it's a little uncomfortable.
For sure.
To stick to the structure and schedule, because it feels like, oh, I should be doing something else. And it's like, no, like I literally scheduled myself to do this. I need to stick to it. And I've gotten a lot done by doing that. And I want to keep that going. I don't think last podcast I talked about this, but I also because I didn't think I started it yet, but I started a 90-day summertime workout challenge.
Getting that summer body ready.
You already know, baby. And it's been really good. I'm on day 7. And the first day that I did it, she said to write a letter to yourself 90 days from now. And so I did that.
That's right. Yeah.
90 days from now, or from then, would be September 8th, the day before your birthday. I think it was September 8th or 10th. So I know it's the day before or after your birthday, but
that's pretty cool.
It's crazy to think about that far. Like, who knows, like, where we're going to be in September. Like, so.
Well, I think you've
really
been doing a pretty good job applying your structure because it's a new thing. And like we were talking about today, we were talking about embracing the new. And just like you said, it's uncomfortable. It's a little weird. It's a little hard. It's a little bit of a challenge to do it because it's so new and it's something that you haven't really done before. So changing up your schedule, getting things into like a new structure, it's all new. It's going to be very discombobulated. Your foundation is not going to be as firm as it always has been. So you're getting things restructured, and it's always going to be different. It's always going to be hard. But in the new is where we find the change. In the new is where we find the growth. So you're learning a new thing right now, and you're growing into a new thing. And I think if you're consistent, like we were talking about earlier, you're really going to see the benefits of it, and it's going to make more sense as you go.
And I'm going to be new through it. And whenever I do get more, like 90 days from now, if I keep that routine, if I keep the structure in my life, I'm going to feel like a whole new person. So it's like I'm feeling new now because it's something different. But when I get there, I'm going to be new. Yeah. But that is some good stuff that you just said right there, man. Appreciate that.
Me? Yeah. And that's just to kind of go in already, like we're talking about embracing the new. And we're talking about embracing the new, like new season, new time in life, new chapter, just because we're going into a new chapter. And then the next weekend, we're moving into a home, which is a pretty big deal. This is our first home ever together.
Yeah.
So moving into a home, a whole house, that we're going to have a yard, we're going to have our own mailbox, and have everything. So
nobody down below or above.
It's going to be great. Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm really excited. But this isn't a closing of a chapter. This is the opening of a chapter. We're leaving the old behind. We're opening the new. And the new is what's unknown. So we don't know what's going to come. Just like anything else that we do, your business, it's unknown. This podcast, it's unknown. We don't know where this is going to go. Yeah. But we're experiencing the new constantly. We're always in constant revelation, if you will, of newness. Like we're always experiencing new day, new life, new breath. Like it's always going to be something that's new. And I think what I feel, in my opinion, is the world, the world's way is to hold on to what has happened already because it's comfortable. So
Yeah.
we've already, like example, we've already had episodes of this podcast. We can end this podcast and be like, we had a podcast. Like we did so and so X amount of episodes. People ask like, are you still doing your podcast? And like, no, but we still have our episodes. Like we're comfortable with that, and that's all we're gonna hang on to. You know, that's kind of like the way the world's thinking. But we keep going into the newness of creating new content, creating new episodes, and it's leading us in places where we never thought we would go because it's growing us, and it's the new, it's the unknown. Is that's where the growth happens.
Yeah. And even when it doesn't seem like the growth is happening right then and there, like in the physical, it's still happening spiritually. It's still happening, like things happen spiritually before it happens physical.
Right, because that's where the
physically.
faith happens.
Yeah.
If you have the new coming, if you're embracing the new at least. Because like I said, it's always going to be something new. But if you embrace it, that's where your faith builds. That's where the spirituality is getting built.
Yeah, and if you look at it from like a different revelation side on God's timing, and his timeline is way different than our timeline.
Yeah.
He already knows what's going to happen. Like he already knows like what it looks like 90 days from now. And you know, I mean, we have the choice of free will, but God has a plan and a purpose in our life. No matter what choices we make, he's still going to do his plan and purpose. And however, whatever that looks like. But that's just God's timing and not our timing. And who knows where we're going to be 90 days from now. And I'm connecting that to the spiritual side. When I said things happen in the spirit before the physical, is like God already knows what's going to happen. And so spiritually, like it's already happened before we know it.
It's true, man.
And I know somewhere in the word, and I also heard this before, that in heaven, timing in heaven is not the same timing on earth. So it's like 1,000 years in heaven is not 1,000 years on here. So in my own imagination, I'm thinking, I wonder if in heaven things are happening faster than they're happening here. Because like God already sees us at our perfect self. Yeah. Like he already sees us as he created us to be. He sees us whenever it is time for heaven and at the finished time, and to have the character like that he wants us to have right now. We're building that character and learning and trusting, having faith. But it's like seeing it from God's perspective like that. Like things are already happening. Things have already happened that we don't know about that's going to happen here. And I think that's where it comes into having faith and trust and the new.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is something that I've had to realize in listening to like the podcast that, you know, we kind of shared over this episode, and just kind of having like a little bit of a study moment. It made me realize it is something like, it might be just like a human thing, like a flesh thing of just holding on to the old, like maybe just having sentimental value of things that have passed, or even just things that you've accomplished. It's probably just like a fleshly thing.
Yeah.
But hearing like what we've been listening to, Erwin, talking about the new, it made me realize like I have an act, like that's something that's instilled into me, like the way that God created me. Like I have a way of going to the new. Like I crave something new, and you're this way too. Like we crave the new, and we don't even have a reflection of what the old was. Like once we create that new, then there is no more of the past of what it used to be.
Yeah.
And that it just made me realize like that's what the innovators do. That's what the world changers do. Like if you have something new always going on, that you're always evolving because it's something new, then you're always going to be getting into a better place. You're always going to be going into a bigger step that you were at. And I think if you have enough moments of embracing the new, if you have enough moments of embracing the change, then you can get to a point of actually being the innovator that you want to be. And that's where I want to be.
Yeah, and it definitely has to happen with taking risk.
Exactly, yeah.
And trusting the process. Because I would say like our situation right now, like we're really having to trust the process with my business.
Yeah,
and
that's very, very true.
We're literally it is new.
Yeah.
My business is still new, and we're having to trust this process. Doesn't mean I'm going to sit back and not do anything. I have to go out, I have to take risk, I have to work hard towards things. Like going into the new is not something easy. It's not. Being comfortable and staying in the old, like you said, is comfortable. and you're not going to change. Like if you 30 years from now, if you are the same, the way you talk, the way you act, the way your life looks, and it's exactly the same, how are you? Yeah, like where's the newness in your life?
Yeah.
Like where's your growth? Where's the newness? Like you're doing the same thing for 30 years over and over and over again. And it's like, come on, like find different people to be around. Or social media is everything. Like, or like the internet, we have everything at our fingertips. Like you can literally learn anything you want to learn. You can do anything you want to do.
Yeah.
And
sometimes I feel like that's kind of
risk.
the limiting thing of people. Like there's just so much at our fingertips. Like where do I even go?
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I know I've felt that before.
Me too.
I mean, there's literally everything. And even like with AI coming into the picture now, it's even more of a, what do I do now?
But it's either that we're going to sit here and dwell like, what do I do? Or the world's just going to keep going on without us.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Keep doing new things. AI is new. And it's just going to keep going.
If you don't evolve with the world will definitely leave you behind. That's for sure. It's like that story with H&M.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've told you about it, but H&M is a store that only believed in like brick and mortar stores while the world was changing into online shopping.
Oh,
so
you
like
did
the
tell me
retail
about that.
shopping was going into an online world. H&M was like, nah, we're sticking with the old way. We're sticking with what's comfortable. And they invested way more into brick and mortar stores. And I think they're still around, but they've definitely lost a lot of business because of that they did that. And they're online now, but they lost a lot of business doing that, and they could have probably gone out of business. But it just goes to show, like, that's an example. If you don't evolve with the world as the world is going, because the world is always evolving, always changing into something new, changing into something better.
Yeah.
Like, think about like history, like where we came from. Like, you didn't even used to be computers, let alone the internet.
I remember we were
Wi-Fi.
watching the show or the movie last night. What's that? Y'all have to check this movie out.
The Hot Flamin' movie?
Yeah, Flamin' Hot. Is that what it's called?
I think it's Flamin' Hot, yeah.
It's literally the story about the person that made hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll never see hot Cheetos the same now. Like, I definitely want them now. Like, it's a really inspiring story, and y'all should watch it.
Yeah, but even in that, like with the movie, he was a kid that was broke, made fun of in a Mexican community, grew up kind of, he stuck with his roots because it was comfortable, and that's what shaped him to be kind of like a outlaw, a gangster. He was breaking laws and selling drugs and doing all this stuff. Then he evolved and took a risk to go do something new because he wanted to get out of that life and wanted to be better for his family. He went to do something new. He didn't know how it was going to be, but he had faith, and it showed it in the movie. Like they were talking about having faith, like just have faith in me. And he took changes and he took risk, and he ended up inventing the hot Cheeto.
Yeah, and it didn't happen right away. Like there was
Yeah.
times like even after it was like perfect. Like there's this waiting process, and I think in the newness there's this waiting in the new. Just like for example, my situation, like me creating this structure and me sticking through it. There's like this waiting process throughout it for me to grasp that habit and to feel like this is good, because it's so uncomfortable right now. I'm not saying like I'm gonna get to a place where I'm comfortable with the structure, but there's just something there that's new. It's like there's just this waiting process. There's this strength that I'm building, this endurance that I'm building through it, because part of me wants to go back to my old ways, my old free-spirited ways, and just go. But it's like, no, like I need to do this. So there's this waiting process in between there.
There's definitely levels of newness though, because if, let's say for your salon, for example, right now it's a level of newness where we are expecting the clients to come in so we can, pay rent, so we can have money for our bills. Eventually, we're going to get to a place where we are established. We have clients coming in constantly. We pretty much know the money's going to come in. So there's going to be another level of newness where, what do we need to do next? We can't stay at this place because obviously we want to grow the business, So there needs to be another level of newness. What else can we do? Can we advertise? Can we go to other places? Can we open another building? Like there is going to be other levels of newness.
That's the goal. Literally, like when I made an ad, the only person that called me off the ad was somebody asking if I'm hiring.
Yeah. Well,
my own salon suite right now, but one day.
That's just, it was just up for a couple of days. It was the first time making it, so there was definitely something wrong with it.
I'm just saying, like the fact that she love the way the salon looked and all
Oh
this
yeah.
stuff. She's like, I really want to work for you. And it's like that just gave me inspiration. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, like this could be my future. Like I
Yeah.
want a team. I want people working with me, and I can help them, especially upcoming stylists. Like I have this whole vision with that. Like I want stylists in there that's been a stylist for a long time and can like help educate people too. But I also want to bring in the almost like a training ground as well for the other stylists that just get out of school and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, just bringing up this topic personally with we're moving a little bit further away from my job, so I'm kind of on a hill right now. I'm leaning in between two places on what needs to be the next step. If we need to continue going to the job I'm at right now, which is going to be about an hour away, one way, going to be an hour away one way. So I don't know, if I need to go somewhere else, if I have a better opportunity, then I'm going to have to try that, take that risk in the new.
Yeah.
So right now it's really just going into the unknown. I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm going to embrace it.
I feel like you're going to start to feel a shift that needs to be made.
Yeah.
When that time comes. It's like, I need to start, because that happened to me. Remember, it was like 6 months of serving tables. I was like, I feel like I don't belong here anymore. Like, there's something else out there that I need to do. There's a new thing that I need to do. Like, you will just feel yourself like, oh, this is just, if you do like newness, if you do want to go after that, you will feel that. And like I said, I feel personally that is coming for you. And I feel like there's just so many opportunities out there that, like there's just a lot of opportunities out there. But I do know we have to put the work into it to go look in the first place.
Yeah. And I know embracing the new is going to allow that shift as well. I can't be shut off to it. I know I have to keep my mind open, keep my opportunities open. I can't say like this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm comfortable here. I don't really need to go anywhere. I just need to embrace the new, and I need to have that constant reminder. And that's a little bit of a part why I wanted to even have this episode, because I want to have a reminder for myself. This is something that later down the road, if we always embrace the new, if we have that reminder in a lot of the decisions we make, it can make a huge difference down the road. It's almost like an investment. If we embrace the new in the unknown and have that faith that we're going to be okay, God has us regardless, I wouldn't even be able to put into words, like what could be possible at that point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a good reminder, embracing the new.
Yeah. And I think like you said, you feel like you're supposed to be there, but it's like, that's a seasonal thing. Like when you look at a book, when we're talking about this is the next chapter that we're stepping into, we look at a book, we are turning the page. We're going into a new chapter.
It's very true.
To be honest, I would say it'll be chapter 2.
Chapter 2? Why do you say that?
Because we're coming up on our 2nd year of marriage.
That's very true.
And I feel like chapter 1, I mean, it depends on if we want to add in our before we're married. Because those were some chapters too. But I almost feel like they were like individual chapters into other chapters. But maybe that could be like the introduction.
The prelim.
Yeah. But now we had our first year of marriage.
Yeah.
That was chapter 1 and all the things we went through. Now it's chapter 2. And then returning that page. And so everything that's happened in chapter 1 doesn't mean it's all going to carry into chapter 2. It's time to open up a new chapter in life. And I feel like it's going to be all around starting a family. That's a way new chapter. Getting new jobs, being successful in my business, and the areas that needs to be successful right now. So we can start making more goals.
Yeah.
And I also want to just say, like, I've been learning a lot through like networking groups and just seeing the newness out there in other people. Like I wouldn't even know that you can create insurance so interesting, like things like that. Like people that like sell insurance and have their own businesses, and how personal they get, and they niche down. Like it's all about niching down, like niche your brand down. Like what are you going after? So for the people that are, I don't know where to go, there's so much at my fingertips. It's like, what is your target audience? What are you trying to do in the first place? What are you trying to start new? Like
big target, just niche down.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be so complicated.
there's so many people in the world. There's enough people out there for you.
Yeah.
There's fans out there that are for you. Not everybody's going to be for you. There's a certain audience that is only for you, and you got to go get it. So this stuff is not easy. Embracing the new, figuring it out is not easy.
Yeah, but imagine how much you learn embracing the new. And like I said earlier, that's how we change the world. That's how anybody has made an impact on this place, because they embraced the new.
Yeah.
If we had every single person on the earth, planet Earth, ever to live in history ever, to always be holding on to what's comfortable, to always just stay in steady grounds and not look past anything towards advancement, anything that would make them uncomfortable, we would be in caveman ages. We would not be anywhere where we are right now.
That is true.
We would not be anywhere.
And you saying that, like, I'm just getting this visual in my head. Like, it has to start within us first before it starts out there. So it's like behind the scenes, going through all this work, nobody knows what you're going through because it's happening between you and your four walls and your private space before it gets out there and it makes a thing out there and changes the world. So your inner world has to change first. Your perspective has to change first. The way you think about others. I've been noticing, if you pay attention to your thoughts on how you think about somebody in front of you, no matter how interesting they are as a person, and you can pick out their flaws and all this stuff as much as you want and criticize, that, like, you should be looking at yourself more than anything.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to pick out somebody else's flaws before it's as easy to pick out your own.
Man, it's a good one, man.
I've just been realizing that. I'm like, and I don't think you have to, like, shame yourself when those thoughts come. You just got to release the thoughts.
It's just it's a correctional thing, and that's something that like I have a pretty hard time doing, like just thinking like, you probably shouldn't be doing that. Like, don't eat that. That's chemicals. Like,
Ew, for real.
I just think that, and just because we're so, like, obsessive over, like, not putting ill things in our body, when I see other people, like, eating it constantly, I'm like, dude, stop. Like, please, you're killing yourself.
I feel like that's different.
Well, I just feel like it could come from more of a better position. Okay. I can come from a more of a loving position. So that is something that I have to, I don't want to judge, you know, that's something that I don't want to have to come from a judgmental stance on it. And I want to show people that the character of Jesus, you know, I want to show people that I'm a kind person. And like you said, it starts within yourself. You know, you can't think that and then act like that on the outside. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe, like, start by thinking about how that makes you feel. Like, think about what's happening inside of you when you are thinking that towards those people. It doesn't feel good. No. It feels very just, Yeah. And I don't want to feel icky. Yeah, I want to feel loving and kind and see them from a different perspective. Like, I had to do that today during a networking meeting, having one-on-one conversation with somebody. And I did have some, like, I'm a very observer, and I can just... What am I trying to say right now? I could just see things in a certain way. And I'm like, that's not my place. And, like, I literally switched my perspective and my mind and my heart. And I was able to just relax more and see them for who they are and not what kind of season they're in right now. Because you never want to judge somebody off of the season that they're in right now. Because it doesn't mean they're going to be like that months from now. I would hope not.
Yeah, you're right. You're so right. But all that to say, you know, even in embracing the new, I also want to note it's also recognizing, if you are to embrace it, that you're putting your faith in the new. It's also recognizing that God is going to do something new. God is going to do something better than where you're at right now. That's also embracing the new. That's also knowing, like, there is something better on the other side, and I have to put my faith in God because He knows the plan for me. He knows what's going to be coming ahead. He knows that He's building me right now. He knows that there is something that's going to be developed in this next season. And that's what we're walking into this next season. You know, like, we are doing something completely different. Walking away from apartments, going into a home where we we are going to be starting our family there. And it's going to be so new. It's going to be unknown. So it's something that we're also putting our faith in God and saying that this is going to be something that you're wanting us to do, the new thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and Revelations 21:5 says, "Behold, I am making all things new. For these words are trustworthy and true." And that's God's promise. That's literally one of God's promises, that he makes all things new.
Wow.
And we can trust that. He's making things new in us too, and making things new around us. And when things are changing around us, can you imagine how much you've already changed when you're seeing it in front of you? Because like what we're saying is like it's happening within us first, and then it changes outside of us. But I feel like when you see things happening on the outside of you, then you should take a step back and be like, wow, how much newness has happened in me already? And where I want to go with that is like not being so critical on your old you. Because I think sometimes, I'll talk about the enemy for a second. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And he wants to go after your identity more than anything. He wants to remind you of a little bit of this, a little bit of that happened long ago. When you look in the mirror, he wants you to see your old you. He wants you to hold on to your old you, your old memories, the hurt, or the mistakes that you made, the choices that you made. And I think the more that you come over that, the more that you have victory over it, the more that you take authority over it and speaking truth over yourself, the easier it's only going to get. The more that's going to become a very, very low voice, and you're going to know what that is. And you're going to be like, that doesn't affect me anymore. And I would say and when I look at that for myself, I'm at a way higher level than I was a few months ago in that area. Like I look at myself in the mirror and I'm just like, I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror and see who I truly am. And the enemy wants to blur that. And the inner you too, like you have to let go of that old you and embrace the new you. And who you are today is not who you were back then. So.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really, really good.
I've been feeling that staring in my heart. And then every time when there was a moment, it would come to me, but you would say something and then it would lose it. And I guess that was the perfect time to say it. So.
Well, listen, my friends, embrace your new season. Embrace your uncomfortable season. That's where it's all going to happen. That's the money, man. That's the juice.
The juice.
Embrace the uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
I feel like we've done a really, really good job implementing that into our marriage. Just focusing on being uncomfortable and doing things outside of our comfort zone. Yes, we have seasons of, we chill. We're still a chill couple, and that's okay. Like we still do things that normal people do. We're not always like on 1,000 all the time until we go to sleep. Like we're still normal people, but our mindset is on the new. Yeah. And we want to embrace the new. We want to see what else God has in plan.
And I have to remind myself it's okay to chill. Sometimes when we're like being consistent watching shows, I'm like, I feel like my night should be different. But I guess it just depends on what season you're in, and if you have to want to change that.
Yeah, for sure. I have those thoughts as well.
I know.
There's seasons and there's chapters like
I think this next chapter will have more of those.
We'll have something different. It's going to be something new. But we just want to leave you guys with that. I hope this was for somebody. I hope this is a good reminder. This is a good reminder for me. This is something that I want to keep doing. We want to keep pushing towards. We want to be world changers. And it starts with having something new. It starts with being used to change. Be used to change if you want to be a world changer. And if you don't, stay in the past.
Be used to change if you want to be a world changer. Yeah. Ooh, it's going to go one of the Higher View podcast t-shirts whenever we decide to make that.
Yes, but this, like I said, this is the second to last episode. We have one more episode after this, and then we're going to be closing season 1, and we're going to be taking a little bit of a break. But we're still going to be on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and making reels and connecting with you guys. So I don't think we'll lose touch, but we'll be back soon. We're going to be redoing the studio, have a whole new look, be having people on there, interviews, and it's going to be great. I'm excited for that. That's a new season as well. I don't even know what an interview looks like.
I don't know.
We're going to be figuring that out. But we love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a great rest of your week. Until then, see things from a higher view, embrace the new, and we will see you guys next week.
And be a world changer. Peace out.